We are live. We are live. What's good, everybody? How are we doing today on this wonderful, wonderful, amazing night? Right? Of course, we are definitely seeing a lot of movements in crypto. Type of one inside the chats. If you guys can hear me loud and clear, I see you guys are tuning in. Let's go ahead and dive straight into the charts. I know there's been a pretty interesting day when it comes to crypto, especially with Bitcoin itself. I know this entire thing you guys see here, this entire drop, definitely wasn't really a surprise. It was really expected because of all the tariffs. We were expecting tariffs. We were expecting, some major news to happen. I believe on last pre calls, I told you guys what were some possible scenarios of what would happen. What would be the excuse for Bitcoin to go ahead and drop in price? And unless Trump and like with all the tariffs that they're announcing, I believe on India, that's definitely what really caused everything just to tank. All right. So if you guys are tuning in, definitely let me know where you guys tuning in from. If you guys have any questions, definitely drop inside the chat box, and I definitely will get to it here shortly. So with everything that is going on with the structure with BTC, I know we actually finally cleared the low here. So that really will confirm a bit more bearishness for BTC on the daily time frame. I'm looking for it to come into this area here and continue on sliding off. And where it can go next, I would want it to just go ahead and clear the rest of this, right? And then if we do come back even lower, then we can definitely see a sub 80K, unfortunately. But this is kind of more of another reset for cryptos, right? This is something that is very, very well expected. You guys have seen multiple dips in cryptos, and this shouldn't be a surprise. This is just an ordinary day in crypto, right? Like, don't get too scared. Honestly, like, having even looked at portfolios, I just been just weekly basis, just continue on buying these major dips for just alts in general. This is really where a lot of people really get scared out, and the next thing one day you've seen it where crypto just tanks, and then the next day, we're up in like 25-30% in a single candle the next day. So definitely expect some possible setting opportunity inside here. Even though this is a large area that I'm looking at, you could probably even catch some possible opportunities on the lower time frame. So definitely once we reach inside this area, look for some possible sales to go ahead and clear all this out. And I believe on previous sessions I did mention that since we're just building up liquidity, like it was just a matter of time before we actually get a sell off, and of course next tariffs, boom, crypto sold off. So um, next thing is, where can Bitcoin go? That is the question that everybody wants answered, and I can't show you on this chart, but I will show you on the next one. So with total one, this is really where I am having my eyes look at first. I was looking for sales earlier today, but it like with all that aggressive selling pressure, it completely left my zone. I was actually waiting for it to come into this candle here, this area. I had my alert up and ready to go, and then next it just left. Um, it is what it is, but as far as where we can go next on Total One, which is the entire crypto market, I'd wanted to go ahead and clear this out quick. Um, Pretty soon, probably even the rest of the week we'll probably just see just a continuation to the downside. Maybe just today, towards the end of today, we probably saw this little bounce. But for the most part, I definitely want to see a continuation to the downside and go ahead and clear the rest of the liquidity. Because we still have all this here. We have all that there. And where else can I go? Where else can BTC go? There's definitely a chance. Worst case scenario, we'll probably trade back into here. 2.5 trillion. That is about roughly from current market cap. That's probably in terms of billions to probably 300 billion, give or take. As far as like money just being taken out, yeah, give or take around 300, if not more, billion dollars, which is that's still quite a lot of money. Um, even from here, oh, 425, give or take, $425 billion of liquidity. And same setup that I was looking at for BTC. I would want this area. Definitely would want to see it come back into somewhere in here. Somewhere in here. Definitely want to come back and continue on setting off for the most parts. Where is it at? Drawing tool. I definitely want to see it come back somewhere in here. Play around here for a bit before we sell off. Clear this out, and even just take these out first as well. So that's kind of like overall like macro perspective on Bitcoin, Total One. They both match up perfectly on the overall setups. Definitely let's look at Ethereum on the overall macro perspective. So I was looking for buys potentially, and crazy enough, we actually marked up the zone up. I personally didn't execute on this, just because it was, I believe my overall thought process behind this was that it was rejecting out of the same area, more than once. Whenever I see that, I don't really, try to bother to even enter these kind of trades, because the more times that it reacts off the same play off the same area, the weaker it gets. So definitely didn't execute on that, but it is what it is. We will learn from our lessons, and we just grow from there. Some of you guys are, when I was like, brand new into trading, if I saw these kind of opportunities, I would have been just freaking out, like, yo, I should have taken this. Like I would have, beat myself up on these kind of ideas. But as you start really progress, and you start to really um grow as a trader, you definitely do become less attached to the possible outcome, and just focus on just the overall process, on your analysis and just executing. So, we definitely, I'm pretty sure every trader has missed out on great opportunities, and there's always going to be more opportunities afterwards. So, when it comes to this overall analysis, yes, we actually trying to clear out majority of the liquidity here for Ethereum, and it's definitely going to follow the overall schematic for BT for basically just or follow the overall flow with BTC. So this, I would want to see all this get taken out for ETH, and then where can we go to next? I mean, I have a couple areas, but I don't want to overall guess where she wants to go. I'll just kind of let the markets do its thing, wait for some type of accumulation to happen, and then from there we'll probably even look for some swing plays. But as of now, definitely would be more comfortable finding some setting opportunities. Brush. That's basically what I'm seeing right now for Ethereum. Nothing too concrete on the smart time frames. If I were to even look at, let's say, the 15, yeah, if I were to look at the 15, I wouldn't really want to even catch any kind of buying opportunities, because if we got the 1 minute, we still have this liquidity, these lows get taken out. Because just small bounces that we're having on the smaller time frames, very small time frames, and this is kind of like my indication that's all right, cool. Market left liquidity, just matter of time that will come back and just go ahead and sweep that, even potentially go lower. That is always my confirmation whether or not to hold a trade or get out. As of now, these are just small balances. You probably even catch some potential. I really want to see what happens tonight. What's today? Tuesday. So tomorrow, um, potentially even reversals back up. Let me see here. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely gonna be waiting. I wouldn't really want to, try to like, test the waters out and just do like a test trade. I'd rather just wait and find something that's really just concrete. Yeah. So, that's basically more analysis with Ethereum on the macro perspective. Um, I definitely will look at Solana and see what's happening there. Let's get it ready. Thank you guys for joining on tonight's call. If you guys are brand new, let me know inside the chat box. If you guys are already in your journey inside the space, go ahead and let me know how long you guys been inside the space, crypto space, and yeah. So with Solana, get out of the way. Definitely looking for some reversals for sure. But it looks like we're actually gonna come back and retest this same zone again. I mean, the overall like buys that we had from like December, like towards the end of December, I think like a week before December, these were like the perfect opportunities. But it looks like we probably get another reentry back in this zone. I would not be surprised if we come back because I know Solana likes to do that. So we'll probably create another low here before we actually start in see some kind of rejection and do something like this. Does it look all familiar to you guys? If you guys are have been studying Wyckoff, so this even though on the previous stuff that I sent out, I didn't really quite take the Solana one just because of how aggressive everything was moving, and especially with the Ethereum setup, I was risking like 300 pips on that one. So if you use your risk management, it shouldn't have made a huge impact on your account as well. Whether you guys are trading perpetuals, you guys are brand new trading perpetuals, I would really, really recommend you guys, trade either between a 1x to a 10x leverage, just because it is very, very volatile, especially with the liquidation prices. And if you guys are brand new into perpetuals, type of one inside the chat. If you already experienced in perpetuals and you're kind of already gonna got the hang of it, drop a two inside the chat. So with everything that's for me personally, I love trading on Jupiter just because of since these are like the main three pairs that I trade on. And also, if you can keep on interacting with the overall platform, then you will be eligible for a airdrop. That is definitely don't really, of course, discuss that on these kind of calls. Is more of like live analysis, but that's another thing that you should really take in consideration is these airdrops, right? Just by you interacting with these platforms. So Jupiter, pretty simple. All you're really doing is, let's say you find a markup. You can either enter into the trade. You can also trade, Solana, Ethereum, and BTC, and these are all, these are not actual BTCs. There's actually BTC in the Solana ecosystem more directly under Wormhole, which is another project that we mentioned inside the chats. So when it comes to entering the trades, you can either go long, go shorts, you can either do market execution or set up a limit order, and you can deposit or enter the trade by entering either Solana, ETH, RapidTC, USDC, USDT, and a lot of different other coins out there. Like, let's say if you hold a meme coin, you can also use that um, as collateral, as basically a way to enter the trade. You can do that as well. So pretty cool. And when it comes to the leverage, this is really where you can also be very very conservative, or you can definitely be a degenerate and trade upwards to like 100x and above. Anything above 100x, you're really really testing the water as far as like testing out your sniper entries. If you really have sniper entries, and if you really feel like feel confident in the setup, whether it's a 4 or 5 star setup, then by all means, right, test it out. If it goes your way, cool. If it doesn't, you've already accepted the risk as far as you entering or even using these high leverage platforms. So if you guys are brand new, 1 through 10x leverage, you can definitely, of course, accumulate your accounts pretty easily with really low stress when it comes to trading with these 1 to 10x leverage opportunities. So another cool thing is when you do close outs and profits. I know I've mentioned this a couple of times already, and I'm gonna continue on saying this over and over again, just because I haven't really seen a platform like this. Is if you make profit on your trades, let's say you're trading BTC, you can close out and wrapped BTC, which is still Bitcoin under the Solana ecosystem. All right, you don't really you have the option to either get closed out in the stablecoin USDC, for the most part Solana, I think, and wrap BTC. Let's say you make profit on Ethereum. Let's say you're trading Ethereum, you make profits, then you get closed out in Ethereum, wrapped Ethereum. Pretty cool. Same thing with Solana. Same thing. This kind of is a great way to accumulate the assets and also day trade it. So next thing that I'm really looking at is, yes, that's kind of more of a bias with Solana. We'll see how aggressive we do kind of trade down here, but that's kind of really just depends on how aggressive BTC does another sell off. Cool. Total three. So we're actually getting a lot more closer to sweep all of this. I'll be me personally. I'll be more confident on just the entire market as altcoins if we go ahead and clear all this, even though we don't want to, right? Even though like we don't want to see any more dips, right, in crypto. I know some of you guys are like, yo, I'm tired of these dips in the market. Why can't we just see a all season run? Like these are the kind of conditions that is needed when it comes to people that are already over leveraged, when alts, well, basically just the main caps were at these highs. So there's kind of more analysis that I would want to see this get taken out first before saying, all right, cool, everything has already done its due diligence on clearing everybody out, clearing the board, and resetting the entire market itself, and that's really is really where these are will be like the quote unquote the bottom, right? Um, but yeah, that's kind of this kind of is my main alt season altcoin charts that I'm really really looking at every single day. I won't say every single day, but mostly every single week, just because I really want to see how everything is progressing on the weekly candles. If we're looking bearish or bullish, so definitely have this in mind as far as where potentially can we go. Let's say we were to drop from here to here. That is $123 billion of liquidity, and altcoins just get sucked out. So all the majors, all the main alts they can think of that are in your top front page of either CoinGecko. Other people will bring that up right now. That is really where a lot of them will basically get all of the liquidity get taken out. I know meme coins right now are taking a hit. So if you guys ever notice how, yes, you see the main cap coins take a hit, you see the mid caps take a hit, semi hits, and then you see the low caps, take a much more bigger hit, and then we see some of the meme coins they take even a much more bigger hit. All right, so it just matters just market cap, liquidity definitely plays a big role in as far as which projects to invest into and which ones are a bit more volatile, right? So yeah, I mean, I'm kind of curious. I mean, I personally just do these kind of analysis on other calls, but you can definitely see which ones are ranking up to the leaderboards that are on the first page. So pretty interesting to see. If you guys don't know this already, this is a crypto. What's the best way? Basically, you can definitely see all the altcoins, right? You can definitely see the back end of every crypto um, in existence that's currently out there. There's about almost 19,000 coins out there. So definitely great way to do your research, look at different categories, see what's popping, see what's up and coming, and you can also see what are the top gainers. All right, pretty cool stuff. Let's go back into the charts. Clear that out of the way. Exit page. If I start to lag, definitely let me know inside the chat box. It looks like it's lagging on my end. Yeah, it looks like it's lagging on everything. There we go. We're back. Cool. I'll definitely will tap into XRP, and from there I'll definitely look at more of the alts. So I was looking for potential buys in here for XRP, but with all the aggressive selling pressure, that really just said nope, not this time. I'm really starting to debate on second guess myself that there is a chance we may even go below some of these candles, liquidation candles that happened on October 10th, because I think on one of them, one of the alts had done that already. I think it was Litecoin had done that already, or almost. There's definitely a possibility that we probably just see that market just trade underneath that and just bounce from there. Because we're already starting to really see a much more deeper retracement into this entire wick, and that could definitely be a scenario. That could definitely be a scenario of which we'll probably see this get taken out on a lot of different assets. The question is, will Chainlink hold up and be one of the strongest coins? That's the question that I'm really wanting to see what happens as Bitcoin starts to progress. There's that. Hmm. Cool. I see that I'm good and you guys are able to hear me. Cool. So with Chainlink, yeah, definitely we'll see. I definitely want to see some kind of accumulation, but as we start really just dipping in BTC, I'm definitely be more careful and see what it does first before even entering or even calling out any more trades. I just want to see what Bitcoin wants to do next. I'd rather get that first bounce and just on everything and just wait for the retracement. That is probably like the most best possible route for basically just everyone to even like partake in. To be honest, because I'm not gonna even try to even guess the bottom because you'll definitely will end up and there's a reason why like don't never really catch a falling knife because you'll end up getting cuts regardless. So we'll definitely will see what happens for chain link, but definitely still stack it up on investing on chain link since we're sitting at $12.34 33 cents. And we haven't really been at these prices since last year in June. And before that, around eight, like basically like the first quarter of last year. So we've been trading in these areas for a long time. Once, twice, three times. We've been inside this entire zone for a very, very long time. I mean, we've touched this zone plenty of times. So next thing is I want to look at ICP. Play USD. Oh, the Play Solana. I'll definitely will take a look at that as well. So with ICP, even though we got this first initial rejection here, if we're really talking about like aggressive selling pressure, then I'm looking at lower entries on ICP. Lower, entries potentially on if you guys were wanting to take on leverage, but um, before even even click on that buy button or set that buy limit, I'm just gonna be just waiting for what BTC want to do next because this can easily get invalidated by a huge liquidation candle. So I'm not gonna even try to bother even placing a buy limit. All right, just wait and just do market execution. Jupiter. I definitely do see Jupiter just falling below that just because of the airdrop that's gonna happen the end of this month. So there's definitely a possibility we'll probably see that selling off and coming below this week here. Filecoin looks like we're going to do another low. We haven't really seen any. I mean, we have seen this first initial aggressive push up, but after that, it's just been slowly just been dying off. So yeah, this definitely is one of the coins I still have to be honest, just because of all the partnerships, and I'm pretty sure like the educator like Mike Sotero has talked very very heavily on this, so definitely watch his sessions to get more coverage on Filecoin, Pyth. Yeah, I definitely do see Pyth just clearing this, clearing that liquidity before even going higher. Solana, Track, FIDA. There's a lot of these that I haven't really even looked at to be honest. Parcel. Yeah, so there's a lot of these coins that's seeing a lot of damage. Basically doing a lot of damage on the charts, just clearing out all liquidity. I mean, there's been a lot of volume. Like, don't get me wrong. This is something that I really like to see, but it just matter of, what the main king in crypto wants to do next. So here, I will definitely look at, let me see if plays is on here. I mean, since it is a brand new coin, I plays so no, probably not that one. I'll look at the screener just to even get that chart. Cool. So this is where you can find all of the meme coins, right? This definitely will be a topic whenever money is flowing into alts, not alts, but meme coins. Play. There you go. Just like any other airdrop. Um, Let me see where is the lowest. So it's actually below IPO. Honestly, I haven't really seen any other updates with Play. If I'm being totally honest, like whenever like the airdrop first got released, how like sold out like around here. I sold around here. Because I know that every single airdrop that we partake in, it's always tanked and went below IPO. So would I get back? I would wait for this thing to like see some kind of strength, in my personal opinion. Or like if there's any huge thing. I know like Solana has always had like partnerships with Jupiter recently, and I think that's like the recent one I've seen where like they partnered with Jupiter in a way, and I haven't seen anything else to be honest. But I know you Carlos has the actual device, pretty cool. But there will be a time for Web3 gaming to really pop out. But as of now, it's just just sit in your hands and just wait and see what happens next, what other big partnerships, because there needs to be some kind of big news or a shift in structure to really indicate that you're seeing a lot more buys come in. So definitely, if you have the Desk Screener app, I suggest you have it saved and just check them on it every once in a while and see if we get any kind of shift. I definitely will leave that up for you. Look at Sue. I think I was looking at XLM. I know if you guys are trading XRP, then you guys are definitely want to see what's happening with its brother XLM. Same more thought process is coming below this here. Clear that up, and then potentially even where's it at? Let me use this, and then potentially even doing some kind of reversals. That's too much. Probably somewhere in here before actually make his way higher. Hmm. Because look at this. If this gets taken out, that's we'll see. We'll see what happens this run. Where this entire chart can go, hard to tell. But if you've already are positioned in XRP, I would suggest getting positioned on XLM because they're gonna do the exact same moves. So that's kind of like the best way to even capitalize on both charts, all right? Because they're both doing the same movements every single time. Cool. Uh, as we start, getting close towards the end of this call, this would be a perfect opportunity to ask any questions or look at any charts. So with overall with Binance, the same analysis, I'm still gonna stick to it. Um, Clear all these lows here for Binance, and but potentially even finding some kind of buys in here around but definitely below 730 price for Binance, and even potentially even catching some reaccumulation out of this zone. Yeah, because I mean, even though like once this chart starts to perform again, then yeah, you definitely will see a lot more of the meme coins pop off in the BNB ecosystem. So that's something to look out for as well. And if you guys are want to be degenerates this bull run, or even take a couple of riskier plays, then yeah, I mean there's always a timing and season for that. But as of now, it's just um, don't really touch these meme coins as of yet, just because of how aggressive they're getting beat up with alts and just crypto just tanking as a whole. Cool. BNB, that's kind of more of our analysis. I mean, it hasn't really moved as much from what we've seen. I mean, yes, we've probably seen some probably just small buys, but now we're seeing some really higher time frame change of characters. to the downside for just everything. So now we're kind of already seeing more of a intention behind the mains, which is getting influence with BTC. Since I know like this entire chart here for USDT dominance, I've been looking at this chart for a couple years now, right? And I've been looking at this area for a while. And once you start seeing the dominance increase on here, that should be an indication that a lot of investors are converting their cryptos into USDT, into stable because of imminent volatility that will go against them, right? So they kind of convert it into stable coins to protect their capital and then reinvest whenever this thing starts to. You definitely will see the shift whenever you start seeing USDT dominance drop because that's really where investors are wanting to, be more risk on instead of risk off. Hopefully that makes more of a better understanding. So these are like one of the charts I always look at every single time. If you guys been on these calls consistently, you guys know that I look heavily over these charts because I really wanted to know what's the what's happening on the bigger picture because a lot of people are too focused on just one chart. Like for me, I rather want to gain more information and formulate a bias on a setup and go from there, right? The more like information, the more charts that I can look at to compile a specific higher time frame directional bias, then I'm definitely gonna use that to my advantage. And I suggest you guys do that as well when you guys are looking at higher time frame movements, especially swinging cryptos, because trust me, getting these kind of great opportunities and just swinging them for the long haul, that's definitely an opportunity that I would love for everyone here to partake in. No matter how risk on or risk off or conservative or degenerate you are, then definitely highly encourage you guys partake in that as well. Because if you guys are investing, might as well have it in perpetuals and just let that thing, ride, right? But that's just waiting for the right opportunity. But as of now, that opportunity is not there yet, but there will be an opportunity in the near future. So that is it on my end. I definitely will close out tonight's call with that. And make sure you guys are tuning into the rest of the calls that we have, throughout the rest of the week. And we're getting closer and closer towards the conference that's happening on February 7th, right? That's here in Dallas. So, perfect time, perfect opportunity to get more hands on, really experience the community, really experience the overall learning experience that you guys want with trading, especially with this entire community of Powerhouse. Make sure you guys are there in attendance, and as you can see your favorite educator, see your favorite person in the community in person, right? Because everybody will be there in attendance. So definitely we would don't want you guys to later on be like, yo, like I wish I should have gone because you're gonna be there, looking at your stories, wishing that you went. But other than that, hope you guys have a blessed and wonderful night, and I'll see you guys on to the next crypto call on Thursday, and another one on Saturday. So, see you guys then, and definitely enjoy your rest of the night.